Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going on a deep dive, exploring a story all about finding inspiration in the most unexpected places.
Oh, I love those kinds of stories.
Me too. And this one's really special. It features this young writer named Jezzy venturing into a mysterious forest. She's got this adventurous spirit, always ready to just go with the flow.
That sounds like my kind of person.
Right. And I think you'll find her quite endearing as we get into this deep dive.
I'm excited to hear more.
So her story, The Whispering Woods, it's called The Whispering Woods. It's about so much more than just trees and words, though. Yeah, it's about resilience, creativity, and facing those things that, kind of hold us back. Have you ever felt stuck like a fallen tree is blocking your path?
Metaphorically speaking, of course.
Of course, yeah.
All the time. I think we all have those moments. But what's so intriguing about Jezzy's story is how it begins. She stumbles upon this enormous tree completely blocking her path. And, most people would be frustrated, right? Maybe even a bit scared. But Jezzy, she just shrugs it off.
Really?
Yeah, she sees it as like a minor inconvenience, Just a puzzle to solve.
It's so interesting how some people just have that outlook,
That's absolutely.
Like, it doesn't even occur to her to turn back.
Exactly. Instead, she just sits down on this giant branch and starts thinking about what to do next. And that's when things take a turn for the bizarre.
Oh, here we go.
A one-antlered stag emerges from the shadows, clearly agitated.
Oh, no.
He's not your typical majestic stag, though. This one is awkward, almost comical, with this single oversized antler that just seems to weigh him down.
It's interesting the way you describe that, almost like a visual representation of the burdens he carries.
Exactly.
Like that antler.
Yeah, and he's angry, blaming Jezzy for the fallen tree, claiming that, he brought it down to protect his home from humans.
But Jezzy, ever the optimist, she's not fazed by this at all.
Not at all.
Like, she tries to explain to him that it's blocking her way too. But he's fueled by anger and frustration. Doesn't want to hear it.
He's just so caught up in his own perspective. And this is where their contrasting personalities really shine. You have Jezzy, calm and curious, and then you have the stag, simmering with rage.
They're coming from completely different perspectives, yet they're both bound by this shared obstacle.
Right, this fallen tree.
It makes you wonder, is the tree just a physical barrier, or is it something more?
Right, there's always deeper meaning.
Always. And just as the tension reaches its peak, as this stag is about to charge, this booming voice echoes through the forest. And it commands Jezzy to pick you pea that stick.
Ooh.
Talk about a dramatic entrance, right?
Out of nowhere.
Totally changes the mood.
It throws both Jezzy and the stag off guard, plunging them into this moment of stunned silence.
Like the story itself is holding its breath.
Exactly.
Waiting to see what happens next. It's almost as if a higher power is intervening. But then, the stag, ever distrustful, decides that it was just a trick of the wind. So he recovers from his momentary shock, and fueled by this renewed sense of urgency, gets ready to charge again, aiming for the base of the tree, where the roots are exposed. This poor stag, so blinded by rage, he can't even see that he's heading toward his own downfall.
It's like he's creating his own trap.
Exactly.
And that's precisely what happens. He charges blindly, and his one antler, that symbol of his awkwardness and imbalance, gets impaled on the tree.
Oh no.
He becomes a prisoner of his own anger, his own desperate attempt to protect his home.
Almost poetic, isn't it?
It really is.
Like he wanted to use this tree as a weapon, but it ends up being his trap. Now, most people in Jezzy's position would probably run for the hills, but she doesn't. She watches the stag, not with fear or judgment, but with this kind of quiet understanding. It's like she can see beyond his rage to the pain and fear that's driving him.
That takes a lot of empathy.
It does. And the stag, for the first time, feels truly vulnerable. He sees his life flashing before his eyes, convinced that this is the end. But then Jezzy does something unexpected.
What's that?
She approaches him cautiously and gently places her hand on his back.
Bro!
It's such a small gesture, but it speaks volumes about her compassion.
I think sometimes the smallest gestures are the most powerful.
I agree. The stag is surprised by her kindness and relaxes slightly. And just then, that mysterious voice returns softer, this time. And again it says, pick you pea that stick.
It's back.
The plot thickens.
Now, this is where the story takes a truly magical turn. Jezzy remembers the stick she was playing with earlier, the one she dropped when the stag first confronted her.
Right.
She picks it up again, and it's as if this simple stick becomes charged with a power she doesn't yet understand. It becomes more than just a stick, it becomes a tool.
Like a conduit for something far greater than just clearing a path.
Exactly.
So what does she do with this stick?
She starts writing with it. Not on paper, but in the air. It's as if the stick is an extension of her imagination, and the words she writes shimmer and dance, taking on a life of their own.
That's incredible.
The forest, which was once a place of fear and anger, transforms into a canvas for her creativity. It's as if the trees themselves are bending closer to listen, captivated by the story she's weaving. And what's even more remarkable is that Jezzy uses her newfound power, this power of words, to help the stag.
Wow, she writes him free from the tree. And as she does, his missing antler is restored.
That is so powerful.
It's this beautiful act of healing, not just for the stag, but for the forest itself.
Right.
And the stag, he's completely awestruck.
Yes.
He goes from feeling defeated and broken to standing tall and whole again.
It's like watching a transformation unfold before your eyes.
Exactly.
The stag, who was once weighed down by his imperfection, now stands tall, his restored antlers symbolizing a newfound strength and wholeness. He is quite literally a changed creature.
And Jezzy, she seems to have undergone her own transformation as well. She seems more confident, more sure of herself. It's as if writing the stag's story has helped her find her own voice, her own power.
It's amazing how interconnected everything is, how helping others can lead to our own growth.
And you know, it's fascinating. That fallen tree, that obstacle that brought them together, becomes a symbol of something deeper.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. It represents the fears and doubts they both carried, the limitations they had placed upon themselves.
But by facing those limitations head on, by helping each other, they both find a way to move beyond them.
And that mysterious voice, it seems to confirm this newfound understanding. It's softer now, almost a whisper. But it's clear that it's encouraging them to embrace this newfound freedom.
The forest has become a place of healing and transformation for both Jezzy and the stag.
A testament to the power of facing your fears and believing in yourself.
It really makes you wonder what would happen if we all embraced our own fallen trees with the same open mind and compassionate heart as Jezzy.
Right. What hidden strengths might we discover within ourselves?
Exactly. You know, it's interesting how the story shifts at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, the initial tension, the fear, it all kind of melts away.
Right.
Replaced by the sense of wonder and possibility.
It's like they've both stepped into a new chapter. Like they've confronted their fears, acknowledged their vulnerabilities.
Exactly.
And now they're ready to embrace something new.
Exactly. And it's Jezzy's creativity that leads the way. She continues to write, her stick dancing in the air. The forest becomes her canvas.
Wow.
A living, breathing testament to the power of imagination.
It's like she's breathing life into the forest with every word she writes.
Yes.
And the stag, he just stands there mesmerized, watching her every move.
Right.
It's like he understands that something extraordinary is happening.
This is where the story transcends the literal
Okay.
and ventures into the realm of metaphor. Jezzy isn't just writing a story. She's creating a new reality.
Really?
One where limitations no longer exist.
So the stag, he's part of that new reality.
Yes.
He's no longer the awkward, angry creature we met at the beginning.
Right.
He's been transformed by Jezzy's words, by her belief in him.
I think that's a crucial point. It's not just about Jezzy's creative power, it's about the impact it has on others.
Okay.
It's about how her willingness to see beyond the stag's anger, to recognize his pain, allows him to heal and become his true self.
You know, it makes you wonder, how often do we miss opportunities to connect with others because we're so focused on our own fears and judgments?
That's such a powerful question, and I think the story is urging us to consider it. It's suggesting that true transformation happens when we're willing to see beyond the surface, to recognize the shared humanity in all of us.
And what about that mysterious voice? It doesn't reappear, does it?
No.
It's like it served its purpose, guiding Jezzy and the stag toward this moment of transformation.
Perhaps the voice represents that inner wisdom we all possess.
Okay.
That voice that urges us to take risks, to step outside our comfort zones.
Yeah.
Maybe it's only there when we need it most. A gentle nudge to help us discover our own potential.
I love that interpretation. Like the voice is saying, hey, you have everything you need within you now. Go out there and create something amazing.
And that's exactly what Jezzy does. She embraces her creative power, her ability to transform not only her own reality, but the reality of those around her.
So what happens to the fallen tree? It's still there, isn't it?
It is.
A reminder of the obstacle that brought Jezzy and the stag together.
And it serves as a powerful symbol. It represents the challenges we all face in life, those things that seem to block our path. But the story suggests that those obstacles, those fallen trees, can also be opportunities for growth, for connection, for transformation.
It's like the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. But it's more than just about becoming stronger. It's about becoming more compassionate, more understanding, more connected to the world around us.
And it's about the power of creativity to heal, to transform, to create something beautiful out of something that seemed broken.
So as the sun begins to set, Jezzy finishes her story. She's created this incredible world within the forest, a world where magic and reality intertwine, where a one-antlered stag can become a symbol of strength and resilience.
And what does she do with the stick, the tool that unlocked her creative power?
She leaves it behind.
She does.
Yeah, she doesn't need to cling to it anymore. She's internalized its power, its ability to unlock her imagination.
That's such a poignant detail.
It is.
It suggests that the true power lies not in the tool itself, but in the willingness to use it, to embrace the creative spark within. It's a reminder that we all have the power to create our own magic, to transform our own realities.
And as Jezzy leaves the forest, she takes with her more than just a story. She takes with her a newfound sense of self, a deeper understanding of the world, and a connection to something bigger than herself.
It's almost as if the forest itself has whispered its secrets to her,
Right.
revealing the hidden truths that lie just beneath the surface.
And the stag, he watches her go, knowing that their paths have crossed for a reason. They've both been changed by their encounter, and they carry that change with them as they venture back into the world.
It's a beautiful ending, isn't it? Filled with a sense of hope and possibility. It makes you want to go out and find your own whispering woods, your own fallen tree, your own creative spark.
It does.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that adventure and transformation are waiting for us just around the corner, if we're open to them.
If we're open to them.
I don't know about you, but I'm still feeling the magic of Jezzy's journey through the Whispering Woods.
It's definitely a story that stays with you.
It really is. Makes you
Yes.
think about your own life, your own challenges and the ways in which you might be limiting yourself.
Yeah, it's like Jezzy's encounter with the stag is a metaphor for how we sometimes get stuck in our own heads, trapped by our fears and doubts.
Yeah, and it's her willingness to just embrace the unexpected, to see the situation with fresh eyes that allows her to break free from those limitations.
She doesn't try to force a solution. She just allows herself to be guided by her intuition, by that mysterious voice that urges her to pick that stick.
Right.
And in doing so, she discovers a power within herself that she didn't even know she possessed. The power of creativity, the power to transform not only her own reality, but the reality of those around her.
I think that's what makes the story so inspiring. It reminds us that we all have that power within us, the power to create, to heal, to connect.
We just need to be willing to listen to that inner voice, that whisper of intuition that guides us toward our true potential. And sometimes that guidance comes in the form of unexpected challenges.
Yeah, like Jezzy's encounter with the fallen tree and the one-antlered stag. They force us to step outside of our comfort zones, to confront our fears, and to discover a strength and resilience we never knew we had.
It's like the saying, the obstacle is the path, It's in those moments of struggle, those times when we feel lost and uncertain, that we have the opportunity to truly grow and evolve.
I love that.
And it's the creative spirit, that spark of imagination, that allows us to navigate those challenges and emerge transformed. Just like Jezzy used her writing to heal the stag in the forest, we can use our own unique talents and passions to create positive change in the world around us.
So as we kind of wrap up our deep dive into the Whispering Woods, what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from this story?
I hope they remember that they are not alone in their struggles. We all have our fallen trees, our moments of doubt and fear, but those challenges are not meant to break us. They are meant to help us discover our true potential.
I love that. And I hope they remember the power of their own creativity, their own unique voice.
Yes.
The world needs their stories, their ideas, their passion.
So go out there, find your stick, and start writing your own story of transformation. The Whispering Woods are waiting for you.
Beautifully said. And that concludes our deep dive for today. Until next time, Keep exploring, keep creating, and keep listening to those whispers of inspiration that guide you on your journey.